in the world is going on? We've got 3 UFOs being shot down. We've got a 4th one possibly to be shot down in the near future. There's something else going on over the oceans of China. This is insane. This is crazy. We've got lasers over Hawaii. What in the world is going on? Get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like, please subscribe, share on social media, and as I'm going through the story, please comment below and let me know what you think. Okay, I'm just going to give a quick rundown of what we know, or what I know thus far. Of course, by the time you get this video, the circumstances may have changed and there could be 20 more UFOs, or UFOs. So, yeah, here we got 3 suspicious objects have been down. That's right. It's crazy. Here's a little map. You can see where they are. That's the Chinese spy balloon. That's where they shot the thing down over there. It's just all crazy. A week after shooting down a suspected Chinese spy balloon that floated over the country, F-22 jet shot down an unidentified object, no thanks, threatening flights over Alaska on Friday. Reports offer conflicting details about the object's capabilities and origin, and U.S. intelligence officials have released limited information about its design or intended purpose. Yeah, I mean, what is going on? What does CNN say? What's going on? This is about the one over Alaska.
Interesting. This is kind of unusual that these pilots saw different things, and that is sort of, I guess, adding to the mystery of all this.
Yeah, not even the pilots apparently were really able to identify what they saw. Just to take you back for a sec, on Thursday, the U.S. defense officials sent F-35 fighter jets up to try to figure out what this object was that was flying around near Alaska. Those pilots, we have learned, have given very conflicting accounts of what they actually experienced, with some pilots saying that the object interfered with the plane's sensors, other pilots saying that they didn't really experience that,
Yeah, that's one thing that was reported about the Chinese balloon as well, is apparently it was broadcasting a signal, and we tried to jam it, and it defeated our jammers. So the thing was more sophisticated technologically than our tech, which is a little bit alarming. And so that would, form a pattern with this object. Assuming that it's from the same source, but it may or may not.
Pilots saying that when they looked at the object, they could identify no identifiable propulsion system, and they did not know how it was actually staying in the air, cruising at that altitude of about 40,000 feet. So this is all added to the Pentagon's wariness of describing in more detail what this object actually is until they can get more information through the debris that they are recovering right now.
Okay. But why would the government allow pilots to talk about this stuff? I mean, when they shoot down real UFOs or engage with UFOs, they typically are discouraged from talking about it. Some of them do go out and talk about it, like Commander Dave Fravor, and thank God he does. But this is nuts. And here's the, information about the one over Lake Huron. The object was shaped like an octagon and at an altitude of 20,000 feet. But yeah, so you're getting these conflicting accounts from the pilots, which is interesting. Okay, so let's see about the one over Lake Huron. Yeah.
Cooper, New York Times.
Hi, thanks, Pat, and thanks for doing this. This is for General Van Herk. Because you still haven't been able to tell us what these things are that we are shooting out of the sky, that raises the question, have you ruled out aliens or extraterrestrials, and if so, why? Because that is what everyone is asking us right now.
And thanks for the question, Helene. I'll let the intel community and the counterintelligence community figure that out. I haven't ruled out anything at this point. We continue to assess every threat or potential threat unknown that approaches North America with an attempt to identify it.
Helene Cooper, New York Times.
Hi.
Okay, so they're not ruling out aliens. And, then you have the pilots going on interviews talking to people saying, basically they can't agree on what they're seeing and it doesn't have any propulsion. It sounds kind of like they're trying to spin the alien narrative, honestly, when it's probably not. You never know. You got weird octagonal structures, you've got cylinders, you've got all sorts of crazy stuff. Here's a little bit more information about Lake Huron and that situation. The UFO that was just shot down over Lake Huron was only a few miles from what was the world's largest nuclear generating station until 2016. Interesting. Bruce Power Plant, located in Kincardine and owned by Ontario Power, has 8 CANDU reactors. So that is where the UFO was in Lake Huron. So, that is really interesting. So, is it China? That's the natural assumption, right? Well, not so fast, muchacho, because here we got this.
Correspondent Brent O'Halloran joins us live from Taipei. Brent, what has been the latest from Chinese officials regarding this unidentified flying object saga?
Yeah, Tom, there's been no official reaction from China yet regarding the 2 objects most recently shot down in North America. The story wasn't covered on Chinese state-controlled TV bulletins, though an editorial on the front page of the Global Times online edition was scathing of what it describes as an exaggerated and bizarre US act. It says the US and Canada also made a fool of themselves. And the US has been engaged in absurd and expensive large-scale political behavioural art. The editorial's authors say there are other less bombastic, inflammatory ways of dealing with aircrafts flying in areas where they shouldn't be flying. The Chinese Foreign Ministry denied the balloon shot down off the coast of South Carolina 8 days ago was not on a spying mission and denounced the US for shooting it down. While the US has not said that these 2 latest flying objects identified were Chinese, analysts argue this whole saga has seriously set back US-China relations.
Whoever launched those balloons knew that Antony Blinken, the American Secretary of State, would cancel his trip to China, and that's very important. I hate to see that kind of reset button derail like that, but it was. So they derailed Secretary of State pretty cheaply with a balloon because they knew that's what would have to happen. And I don't know if President Xi is in charge of these people or someone just wanted to derail the rapprochement.
As you mentioned, Tom, Chinese authorities say they detected an unidentified flying object near a port city in the northern Shandong province and were considering shooting it down. According to a Shanghai newspaper, fishing boats were warned to be on alert. And Tom, there's a bit of concern expressed in China and the US about whether this is the new norm, whether the shooting down of flying objects will be routine. According to a report from the United States Director of National Intelligence, 366 UFOs were reported to the military in 2022. 163 of which were balloons. It's understood none of those were shot down, Tom.
Brent, thank you. Yeah, it's something on the radar. How many of them are there out there? When we come back.
Okay, interesting stuff. And it's a good point that some of those cases were balloons and they weren't shot down. It's unclear to me if they were spy balloons or not. Or were they Chinese spy balloons? There is supposedly a UFO over the waters of China right now, and they even shut down some of the airspace over that area. Are they doing that as a pose? Are they saying, "Oh, look, we've got a UFO too, so it can't be us"? Is that what's going on? Is that a false narrative, or are they encountering the same things that we are? I lean toward thinking that this is a false narrative designed to throw off suspicion. And look, what about the crazy laser stuff over Hawaii? Well, astronomers say Chinese satellite beamed green lasers over Hawaii. Astronomers believe the green laser beam spotted over the Hawaiian Islands last month came from a Chinese satellite. The National Astronomical Observatory, I can't get my words out, Astronomical Observatory of Japan, said in a January 30th tweet that the space agency's Subaru Asahi star camera in Mauna Kea. Oh my God, these words. On the Big Island of Hawaii, captured green laser lights in the cloudy sky over Mauna Kea, Hawaii. On January 28th, captured green laser lights in the cloudy sky. That's right. The lights are thought to be from a remote sensing altimeter satellite. ICESat, whatever. Although the agency initially believed the lights came from a NASA remote sensing altimeter satellite, which CNET described as NASA's Ice Cloud and Land Elevation Satellite that shoots lasers at Earth to measure the surface of the planet, officials corrected the original statement, saying NASA scientists did a simulation of the trajectory of satellites that have a similar instrument and found a most likely candidate as the ACDL instrument by the Chinese satellite. We really appreciate their efforts in the identification of the light. We are sorry about our confusion. So it has many different instruments, some kind of topographical mapping, or they're also used for measuring stuff in Earth's atmosphere. So it's interesting. They say it doesn't pose a risk. No, it's not a risk. We have aircraft making these measurements all the time. Sure, you have a laser grid over Hawaii all the time. Sure, totally normal, totally routine. I mean, look at this thing. Look at that thing. Yeah, that happens all the time, right? Totally normal. Just totally normal. Nothing to see here, folks. Nothing to see here. And apparently this thing, satellite, can measure pollutants, and that was an idea that was floated out. But, you know, as this guy says, I'm not sure, and this is my opinion, why the Chinese, who are probably some of the most prolific polluters on the planet, would be collecting data on pollutants on this side of the Pacific. But Hawaii is not that far from Taiwan. That's my own throwing in there. So, you know, and there is Pearl Harbor there. It is a strategic place. If they wanted to map it, map a particular location, that would be a good location to map, wouldn't it? And something that can measure pollutants might also be able to measure radiation, for example. So, you know, something to keep in mind. You know, I tend to think that this is as a mundane human cause. I don't think we're dealing with, you know, a not truly anomalous craft. But then again, you do get these pilots who can't agree on what they're seeing. They have these weird shapes, cylinders and hexagons, stuff that pilots are describing as without, you know, visible means of propulsion. And does a balloon have a visible means of propulsion? So, you know, that could explain it. But it is weird. It is weird. We don't know yet. I mean, I hope there is a mundane cause for this, I think. I don't want us to go to war with the beings more than we are already. More upcoming on that. But you know, then again, I don't want us to go to World War III either. So this is weird. I hope we can resolve all of this in this phenomenon goes away and there is a peaceful resolution to the cause of it. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Are these aliens? Are these Chinese? Are these Russians? What is going on? What the what? This is a nutty story. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Please hit like if you've enjoyed this video, if you've gotten something out of it. Please subscribe and hit the bell to be notified of future videos. Please follow me on social media. There's Facebook and Twitter links below. I would love to see you there. And until next time, this is Jack with Cosmic Road signing out.